you went for a killer heavy drum recording, but now you're listening to it and it's not heavy at all, is it? The solution for your problem is to record your drums all over again. Okay, that's time consuming and expensive, and sometimes you just can't record your drums all over again. So what else can you do? You can use samples to improve your drum recording. There's a link in the description for you to download my drum sample library. It's a drum sample library that consists only in kicks and snares because they are the ones that will matter the most at the end of the day, in most cases. I'm constantly updating my library, so even if you download my samples right now, come back to this link in a few months and you might find something different here. So here you've got a 5-year-old drum recording from my band. I do record drums now, but back then I didn't have the gear or the experience to perform this task properly. So we hired someone else to do it, and he did a very solid job. But I just need more punch, you know? Let's have a listen. Not bad at all, but I want the kick drum to be more clicky or more punchy, you know, more metal. So what I did was I copied the kick track to a kick sample track. I have 2 kick tracks right here. On the kick sample track I used a gate to eliminate the bleed from the track and used a low pass filter to get rid of all the highs and even the mids. Why I did that? I did that because on the kick sample track I only want to hear the kick drum. I only need a signal to tell me when the kick drum is being played. I don't need it to sound good. It sounds like shit right now, but it's okay because I will replace this shitty kick drum. For this I use the SPL drum exchanger. It's a nice plugin that I'm very used to, but probably your DAW has a stock plugin that does the exact same thing. You don't need to buy SPL drum exchanger, although I really enjoy SPL drum exchanger. So on SPL drum exchanger I loaded Kick 14. That is one of the kicks from my library. All the kicks from my library are punchy and in your face, but they all have a different character, so you have to experiment with them. And I use this knob, the delay knob, just to find where it would be more in tune with the original kick track. And I use this knob, this dry wet knob. This dry wet knob allows me to choose how much from the sample I want to hear. Now it's 100% to the sample. I only want to hear the sample from this track because the track right now is sounding like shit because of the gate and the EQ. And I use the faders from the actual tracks to blend the original kick drum and the sample kick drum. I don't want to eliminate the original kick drum. I don't need to eliminate the original kick drum because I think it already sounds nice. It's just needs a little push. Okay, let's hear the kick drum dry and the kick drum with the sample. Way punchier, right? The other thing I thought I could improve was the snare. This is a nice tight snare. It would work in the mix, probably, but I want a snare that has character and personality and that you feel like the snare is having fun. So I did the exact same process. I copied the snare track, I used the gate, the EQ. This time I only used the EQ to get the mids, right? so you don't confuse anything. You know, the plugin, the SPL Drum Exchanger, knows exactly what's the snare. There's no mistakes here. And here on the Drum Exchanger I used sample 27. I didn't need to use this button this time, it already sounded perfect. And the wet knob 100%. Then use the faders from the tracks to decide how much I wanted from the original snare and how much I wanted from the sample. Let's compare. Yes, now here we have a resonant snare. I love resonant snares. Sometimes they don't work with blast beats and stuff, but most of the times they sound amazing to me. And yes, the resonance is the personality of the snare. Now let's compare the original recording with the sample enhanced recording. Way more metal, right? Whenever it's possible, I prefer to blend the samples with the original audio rather than fully replacing the original audio. I will replace the original audio if the original audio is crap, not this case. But I prefer to blend because I enjoy keeping the reality of the drums, the drum kit, the room, the drummer, and everything that makes a song unique. Also, you're compressing if you're using this technique because the sample is always tight, is always played with the same string, and it will help your drum recording to be more even with less ups and downs, with less dynamics, and that's amazing for metal. It makes the music way tighter. But if you're aiming for more dynamic kind of stuff with lots of ups and downs, where with the snare not always being played with the same amount of strength, you can also apply this technique, but be careful, don't overdo this because it will kill the vibe of your recording. That's it, bye bye.